In our lead story this hour, the Zambian government has filed a lawsuit against the family of the late former Zambian President Edgar Lungu, seeking to stop his burial in South Africa today. Now, the government argues that no burial should take place until disputes surrounding the former leader's final resting place are resolved. The case is expected to be heard at the High Court in Pretoria this morning, and standing by there for us is SABC News reporter Canny Maphanga for more on this story. Canny, good morning. So it seems to be a rather urgent matter because that burial, as we understand, is set to take place at 11 a.m. this morning. So please talk to us about what is the court going to be hearing this morning, and of course also what we can expect in terms of the judgment.
Indeed. Good morning to you, Sakina, and to the viewers at home. Just hours ahead of the expected funeral of the former Zambian president, that is President Lungu, we now have seen that this issue of the dispute over how and where he should be buried is now being placed before the South African courts, that is the Gauteng High Court in Pretoria. What we have seen in this process leading up to the deepening of this dispute between the family of the former president and the Zambian government is that there was a repatriation that was going to go ahead last week, and we did see that the family, upon learning that the current president would be receiving the body, then halted that particular process. The family took the decision to bury the former president in Johannesburg, where he passed away following a short illness. And of course, now we have this particular dispute that is now in the air regarding where the former president should be buried and whether it should be fitting to give him that state funeral. Now, we know that the South African government was approached for their intervention. However, they have stated that their position is, while they believe that the former president should be given a state funeral and honored in that particular manner, the legal obligation on the part of the South African government is to respect the wishes of the immediate family, which is to bury the former president in Johannesburg, South Africa. It is against that backdrop that the Zambian government is left with no choice but to approach the Gauteng High Court in Pretoria, that is an urgent court this morning, seeking an interim interdict, which, if successful, will halt the funeral from proceeding this morning. Now, the Attorney General of Zambia is using Article 177 of Zambia's constitution, that is Section 5, subsection C, which guides his role in terms of the Zambian government and the people of Zambia. He's stating that he has to guard and protect the public interests of the Zambian nation and the republic by stating that it is not in the public interest for the former president to be laid to rest in Johannesburg, but rather should be taken back home to his homeland, where he is given a fitting ceremony. And they're arguing before the court this morning that it is not in the interest or in the public interest to proceed with this burial until these disputes between the Lungu family and the Zambian government have been resolved. Now, the requirements for an interim interdict are quite simple. You have to meet those requirements in order to get the relief that you seek before the High Court in Pretoria. That is, you must establish a prima facie right. You must show the court that the balance of convenience favors the applicants, and then you have to, of course, show the court that there is no alternative remedy available to you other than to approach the court and seek this particular relief. This will be an urgent hearing, and the Gauteng High Court in Pretoria will be under immense pressure if they accept that this is urgent to resolve this issue just hours ahead before the expected burial of the former president. Of course, we'll be giving you those visuals live when that hearing begins here at the Gauteng High Court in Pretoria. Over to you in studio.
Well, thank you so much, Canny Maphanga, there with that comprehensive summary of what is to take place. And of course, as she says, it's urgent and it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. And Canny will be there to keep us abreast of developments as and when they happen.